Hey everybody, welcome back to No Face Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we're here watching some Mobile Suit Gundam seed. We got some comments here today, so let's see what people got to say. We got Luis Felipe from False Beast saying, one thing I remember about Seed is hating a lot of the civilian outfits and quite a few uniforms. Blondie from this episode in particular has a terrible fashion sense. I think we've already been over this. This is the most eccentric fashion I think we've seen in most any show, isn't it?
Blondie. That'd be Kegula? Kegula? Kegli? Eula?
Um,
Atha? I don't know what part. Atha. I guess Atha is the part of the name that we're gonna go with here. That'd be Atha? The girl we can't tell is a girl until she loses her hat.
Uh, no. She's wearing like a trench coat half the time, so it's like it's fine. And a
Well, I
beret.
guess
She's on a spy
technically
mission.
the only other blonde on the crew that I know of is LaFlaga. I guess technically that could be green. I don't know.
I was thinking La Flaga too to begin with, but
Well, he wears a military uniform, so literally it's everybody. Everybody is wearing the same uniform.
and they're all terrible.
I don't know. I think Sai has brown hair. Yeah, she's literally the only blonde. No one
Uh,
on the other side, blonde. Well, I don't know. Rue is blonde.
does he pilot a mobile suit?
Yes.
Is he a decorated captain?
No.
Uh, has he committed a war crime?
Yeah, I
It's
guess.
Gar Aznabel.
Well, no, we made the comment that like a bunch of these people are like mirrors for them. I think I said
Yeah.
that Flaflaga could be.
hmm
I mean,
Still,
does he commit a war crime? Well, he technically he's not the one that fired all the shots. And technically there's a captain of that ship that they're all reporting to, I guess, sort of. Ah,
I
we
just love in a game of yes, no, taking the I'm not really sure answer. It's just like a definitive answer. Moving on. That's my favorite part of the bit. But no, I'm excited to see more terrible, awful fashion in the show. I know there's got to be more. I know there will
well,
be.
they're subverting it because now they're all wearing uniforms.
And of course, those will also end up terrible eventually, I'm
And the
sure. Well,
civilians are just wearing like farmer outfits and whatnot, so
bring back the zaft skirt. All right. Our next comment here is Greybach from False Peace as well, saying, as far as why the atmosphere didn't vent, we can probably assume the space colonies have some degree of bulkheads and airlocks between the outside of space and the living area. At least, I'd hope so. Haha. And yeah, the fashion is very 2000 era
mid
Japanese punk.
mid 2000 era.
Yeah. It's pretty ridiculous sometimes. Haha. Once again, we gotta make fun of the fashion. We gotta love the fashion. I love funny fashion. Now,
I know for all future commenters, by the way, include as many ha-has as possible so that Griff will have
it,
to say them out loud phonetically.
make me do it while I'm still like struggling with my throat, so I can just get out the try as possible. It'll be great.
Make him work that throat. That's right.
Anyway,
That'll be the quote for the day. Make him work that throat.
but no, I feel like I gotta take like our comically oversized pin and like throw it back against the wall here and say like, if we ever watch Code Geass, we're gonna have a laugh at more costumes. I guarantee it. They are wearing the most business mega formaliest stuff in that show, and it's a joy.
I just mean I can't. I don't like Clamp. Did Clamp do Code Geass?
I think it did, yeah.
It really feels like it because the heads, the character heads. I don't think there's been anybody more Stewie Griffin in anime than in Clamp characters. Their wide heads with oversized eyes.
You're you're not wrong. All right, next comment here by Chris Wilker from the Patreon on Silent Run. Regarding the OS overwrite, the Gundam's base OS was likely running an unoptimized beta version. She explicitly stated that it was unfinished. A more accurate analogy would be using a basic Linux distro and then optimizing and reconfiguring it to function the way you want it to. The action in and of itself isn't that amazing, honestly not that difficult if you're willing to spend the time. It's the speed in which it was done, highlighting the processing abilities of coordinators.
I mean, yeah. That's what we talked about, was the speed. I don't think either of us were like, programming. That's the hard part. I think it's more so that anybody that can program can't do it at that speed. Unless the indication here is that half of humanity are coordinators, in which case half of everybody you will ever know can do it at this speed. In which case, by comparison, it's not amazing. If 50% of the human population, or 50% of the population of intelligent beings, I guess, if we're considering these two different races now.
Yeah.
If 50% of all people can do it, then it's not amazing. It's standard.
I would still say, at least, if you're going to go ahead and set up your own special version of Linux and all the bits, and you get it working in under a day, you've already completed a miracle, honestly.
But not if half of the people in existence can do it at the same speed.
If half the people in existence could do it at the same speed, honestly, I'd probably be living in heaven.
I'm just saying, by comparison, in the setting of the show, this is no longer a special feat if literally half of all people can do it. It just means that half of the people might as well... They're
going to throw a number at us eventually.
Half of all people in the setting might as well be 70-year-olds today.
I don't think it's going to be half, though. I'm going to say that. All right.
Well, we don't know. You can't argue facts in the future, Griff.
I can argue from whatever future point I want. I can throw it down the road as much as I want. But on to the recap, the Vanishing Gundam, where the Archangel and its crew are held captive by the Artemis forces. Nicole Amalfala in his GOT X207 Blitz attacks
Not his name at all. It's not his name at all, Griff.
What? Nicole Amalfi?
Yeah, it ends with an I, and you clearly had it with an A. You said Amalfala or something.
Alfalfa.
I think you did a search and replace for all I's replaced with A's.
But he attacks, Blitz attacks the Artemis, using its Mirage Colloid armor to remain effectively invisible and destroy the umbrella of Artemis, which protects the asteroid fortress. During the attack, the Archangel is able to escape because of explosions. So, that's where we left off last time. They got captured, they got freed. We've learned at least one special power on one Gundam. And honestly, cloaking exists in a Gundam universe. I'm actually completely forgot.
Limited amounts of time, anyway. We know 2 special powers on Gundams now.
What's the other one?
Claw game.
Claw? I'm not sure I count the transformations as a special power, but, fair.
None enough. Of the other ones transform, so a transformation of any kind is a power.
True.
Otherwise, you're diminishing GoBots, Transformers, tons of other 80s anime that got transferred to America.
Right. But yeah, that's about where we left off last time. The crew is now back out in space. They're still being hunted, and we can see how well they survive all this. To, of course, draw a comparison back, of course, to the original. The original managed to escape with at least one friendly ship. Artemis has nothing here. It's still alone. So, we're going to go ahead and see if they do any better. But Theta, do you have any thoughts here before we get going?
Of course. Gundam is my bread and butter of thoughts. Well, second to 86. 86 has some more poignant thoughts in it.
Of course.
Artemis is protected by a light-wave defense belt. No information given other than the fact that it defends against energy and projectile weapons. So shields exist in this setting, but not on ships. I half expect to see this I half expect to never see this tech ever again. Kind of like Super Napalm in Universal Century.
Given that we have a whole season here that's 48 episodes, and then another 48 season, they're definitely going to go ahead and get energy shields by the end of this, I think.
Are they 48 and 48? I thought they were 50 and 50.
This one says 48 here, so I just kind of assumed. Still, like, if it runs that long, they're gonna escalate it, and they're definitely gonna escalate to the point of saying, we shrunk the arcade no, we shrunk the Artemis's shields, and we put them on the Archangel now. I'm sorry, I had two A names in my head. I kept getting them confused the entire time.
Yeah, so long as you only know two A names, you'll be fine.
There we go.
The commander of Artemis mentions that Laflaga, our blonde-haired, blue-eyed lieutenant that flies a fast-moving prototype fighter, took down 5 Jins during the Battle of Grimaldi Front. He even has his own well-known nickname, the Hawk of Endymion. Feels like he's built up to be our Char clone here, even if there is another character wearing a mask.
We really have, haven't we? We got double the char, and honestly, I'm happy with
Well,
it. I could always use one.
remember that Char was famous for taking down 5 battleships in the Battle of Loom, and now here's Laflaga who took down 5 Jins during the Battle of Grimaldi Front.
Yeah, I guess maybe what we're witnessing is like the literal splitting of cells here. We have the char cell turning into double as we like progress in the Gundam timeline, and they just kind of do that with more and more characters.
Well, I mean, also Char has blonde hair, blue eyes. Laflaga has blonde hair, blue eyes. Char
Hmm.
is the Red Comet. Laflaga is the Hawk of Endymion. Uh, Char pilots a mobile suit that goes faster than anybody else's. Laflaga pilots a fast-moving prototype fighter craft.
Hmm. They are perfect mirrors right now, except in like maybe personality at the
Char
moment.
is the Red Comet because his mobile suit is red. Laflaga's thing is red too.
Hmm. They both like the color red, and red makes you go fast. There you
I
go.
mean, Rao's mobile suit's not red. He doesn't have a nickname based about it. He doesn't have a rumor or a story about how he killed 5 X's in the Battle of X.
We'll
All
we'll have
Rao
to build
wears
up
is
his
wear a
legacy here
mask.
soon. Yeah, he's just a weirdo in a mask. Oh, hi,
I
Graham. I didn't see you over there.
I like that when the commander of the station goes to the mess hall to ask about the pilot of the Gundam, someone stands up to ask why they are being asked. The reasoning they give is logicked out to be either that their commanding officers wouldn't answer or couldn't answer,
Hmm.
implying that they may have taken their captain and staff and killed them. I rather like when the consequences are implied like that without being said. The horror of a situation can easily be made worse when only implied, like a horror movie monster that you never quite get to see.
Yeah, we the audience are seeing everything, so we have less tension ourselves. But like, obviously, in their perspective, they got no idea what's going on. They've been here for a while, and then they come asking a basic question the captain could have answered. So yeah, what's going on? It was a good scene. I liked it.
Kira fighting back against the commander in the mess hall gave me Char at the Academy vibes. Except that Char got hit on purpose in order to turn everyone against the Federation drill instructor. Kira getting hit by the commander obviously would have served no purpose, but since we want Kira to be a cool protagonist, we can't waste this opportunity to show off how good he is at judo, and that no one can touch him if he doesn't want them to. We further show this off by letting Sai, one of Kira's contemporaries, get slapped around for comparison.
Gotta let the normie get hit to see what it's like to be beaten up in this scenario. Now look at Kira. He's too cool.
Well, we show that Kira can stand up and fight, but when we show one of his literally school companions can't,
Hmm.
we then elevate Kira above. That's the only purpose having that fight serves.
Hmm. Kira, stronger than a kid who probably doesn't go to PE class.
The commander both expresses a desire to see Kira analyze the Gundam, reproduce it, and most telling of all, create a design that can beat the Gundam. I think that this expresses beyond a doubt that the alliance of Earth groups, Eurasian Alliance and Atlantic Federation, are
Yeah.
allied against Zaft, but are still more than willing to fight one another should the need arise. If we wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, however, he did mention that they had monitored the previous battle, So it's possible he knows about the other 4 Gundams that got captured, despite our main crew never having mentioned them in this episode.
That would seem like a very likely take, right? It's space. You can look over and see. If there's a fight, you're probably going to watch it, and you go, huh, there's 5 experimental things, and we have 1. We need a way to destroy them now.
Well, it's more so that he doesn't have the information, because they're from a different they're from a different organization. So
Yeah.
they only have the information that they've given them. Obviously, they didn't share any of the secrets about the secret project of the Atlantic Federation. So he doesn't know that the other 4 Gundams, or he shouldn't know that the other 4 Gundams are formerly Atlantic Federations that got captured. So when he's looking at the only Gundam in his presence that he has physical proof of, my thought process is he's looking at this and saying, they've got one, we need to know how to beat it. And that's how Kira is doing this. And the benefit of the doubt there is he looks out, sees 4 other Gundams. Oh shit, they've got Gundams. We need to reverse engineer this so that the Eurasian group can now know how to fight the Gundams too.
I do like how during that whole conversation, he says something like, we know how to treat coordinators better in our location. And obviously, he's trying to play on the tensions of the Earthians here do not appreciate coordinators so much. But I can't help but feel maybe in the read you've been giving over, where you're giving them the benefit of the doubt here. That's reading as there will be more racist over here. There's less over here.
My recollection of the scene that you're talking about doesn't play the same way that you just described. He doesn't say, to my remembering, he doesn't say that we treat coordinators better. He says, we'll treat you better here. You won't want for anything. He's trying to upsell living on Artemis. I don't remember him specifically saying, we're better with coordinators. It's more so the reveal that he is a coordinator happens before the conversation. That's all.
Yeah.
So, Kira kicked the guard and the witness out of the cockpit once the attack started on Artemis. You remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure. We know gravity was still on as they fell downwards. The crew was standing on the ground below, and when the Gundam started walking away, they emphasized the weight of its steps. Gundam strike is 17.72 meters. I took a straight standing model of the strike and created a ruler next to it, and I even showed you this, I think a week ago.
Yeah.
Put a ruler of it next to the scale. The cockpit is about 13 meters up from the ground. Pole workmen and tree arborists seem to cite 9 meters, 30 feet, as the cutoff for fatality in a fall. That is, most who fall from 9 meters or higher die. According to Outdoors, which I believe is a magazine/website, the median height that leads to death is about 49 feet, about 15 meters, or about 4 to 5 stories. However, height alone is not decisive. Falls from a height of more than 50 feet, about 15 meters, are considered to have a high likelihood of being fatal. Essentially, there is a very high likelihood that Kira just killed 2 people.
I guess it really comes down to how high is the gravity on that small asteroid.
One would assume Earth normal, because they come from Earth, and they're basically it's Earth against space people in this show, so...
It still seems excessive, but everyone has gravity in this show.
Why does it seem excessive to imagine that they're simulating Earth gravity?
Because I guess it comes down to we haven't explained how or how strong it is.
So I think if we don't explain it, then I think we have to assume that these highly Earth-centric people are probably recreating Earth-centric gravity.
Well, I mean, what I would do is I would go through the episode and look for things and see do they fall any different, or does someone do a mega jump during it?
I'm sorry, Griff, that I mathed out how funny it was that Kira might have killed 2 people, and that wasn't enough for you. Next time, I'll be sure to make a ruler on a frame for frame of somebody moving through space from air to the ground, so that I can exactly tell you what their falling velocity is, so that we can make sure that terminal gravity on Artemis is exactly the same as terminal gravity on Earth. Would that be
no,
better
like,
for you?
you're still completely on point. It's hilarious to hear like scream, "I'm neutral," and then kick someone out of the gun.
It's fine, Griff. I'll just add an extra paragraph of math to explain how I reached my conclusions next time.
Gotta show your work.
I did. I, in fact, did. I cited 3 different sources in my bibliography about the fatal height of a fall.
And then you do it in MLA format.
And then I even showed you the image of the ruler and the strike Gundam to indicate where the cockpit was.
All right.
I showed you everything.
What else is on your mind?
Just have to be more thorough next time, I guess. Arguably, last episode was the biggest difference between the win-loss record of Zaft versus Zeon in the 2 shows. Char had to retreat and White Base got away, but Lunar 2 was still standing by the end. By comparison, the Archangel had to retreat, but Zaft forces didn't, and we see Artemis blowing up in the background. Zaft may have failed to achieve their stated goals, the same as Zeon, but they still managed to destroy a tactically unimportant base.
No, I mean, why would you have the base there if it wasn't important would be my first thing, but
Griff, I want to indicate that last episode, you were the one that pointed out that they said it was tactically unimportant. This is not a thing you can take back now. You were the one that said it was unimportant.
Not gonna spend too long there, because what I'm gonna say is that is clearly the most expensive thing you could have ever built, that entire asteroid with a giant force shield. How much does that project cost, do you think? That's in the billions. It's gotta be in the trillions.
Well, Griff, taking to our previous discussion a moment ago, I don't know, because they've never told us anything about the economy, and I couldn't just assume anything about monetary values.
Still, something like that has got to be expensive as hell, and if they've gone and destroyed it, that is a massive, massive blow, right?
I mean, for all we know, we're in a post-scarcity environment where money is probably devalued, right? So these things are probably relatively inexpensive
but
and easy to make.
that's what you don't know, because on episode 1, they pulled out coins to pay for a soda.
Oh, yeah, but those are just representative of labor, right? We're working in more of a...
they're labor tokens now. It's not money anymore.
No, it's more of a calorie-based economy, based on the amount of work that you put into the system is the amount of value that you get back out of it, right?
Oh, yeah. So all mental labor is now worthless.
I think that's basically made famous in Kid Stanley Robinson's, I want to say, Green Mars part of the trilogy.
There we go. All right, what else is on your mind?
Apparently, there is a difference between the dub and the sub versions of Kira's last scene in last episode. We watch in sub, and he says, I am, and then cries. In the dub, he says, traitor, and then cries. Some more given context to where he's at.
I think at the time I was basically reading what they end up saying aloud in the dub there. It's like, yeah, no, that's the thing he's worried about. These are the things he's thinking.
A weird thing to do, Griff, because we're watching in a sub. So it'd be weird if you're watching the sub and only considering what they said in the dub. Because it tells me, that, and I know your memory is shit, that you're replacing everything that they say with what you remember them saying, which is a terrible way to watch this show. Especially if you have the memory of a starfish.
Yeah. But no, like that was my read on it in the first place, but the differences make sense.
Well, I am gives you no fucking context at all. I am a coordinator would be my first thought, what he's going over. And he's crying because he's a coordinator. But the fact that the other one says traitor, that's a different context, and that one you completely wouldn't get if you didn't speak Japanese and was watching the subtitle.
All right, so that's going to be it for Thea's Thoughts right now, but I say let's go ahead and get watching and see how things turn out. For right now, before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to beat that algorithm. On top of all that, if you watch more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some early access stuff, you can go ahead and follow us over on the Patreon. It's just $5 a month, but no pressure. It's all support our channel, just a little bit extra.
And I'm Theta. I'm dizzy.
Does it feel a little sped up to you?
Actually, it felt like a different graphics entirely. Oh, hey, they're back. Oh, we went to fight in orbit or something?
No, they're docking to something in orbit.
Well, they had to go back to report to the council or whatever, remember?
Yeah, yeah.
This is already different from Origin. Not Origin, UC. Char doesn't go back to report to anybody. He fights him right down to Earth.
Char does what he wants. This guy follows the rules.
Screw the rules, I've got money. I think the opening song is slowly growing on me.
Oh,
like,
that's good.
I found it like off-putting or weird to begin with, but well, I don't know. Maybe not so much this part. Like the little bit of like childhood piano playing at the beginning, because that very much sounds like the like a 3-year-old's little. I've got 5 keys on the piano. That thing. I don't know what they're called. It's almost like a xylophone piano.
It might just be a xylophone.
Well, you know, it's like a block, like this big, right? And it's got like 5 giant like colors on it, and each time you hit it, it's like one chord of a piano.
The only childhood piano I remember is having like a full electric piano and trying to learn to play that.
Yeah, I did that.
That's
in school.
me.
No, I'm talking. Yeah, well, maybe it's another age thing showing up now that I know that you were in middle school when I was at work. Buying Dragon Ball Z.
When I was 3, I learned to play the piano, and then I forgot because it was boring.
When I was buying Dragon Ball Z VHS tapes and left behind books, you were in the library.
Watching DBZ, I studied the blade.
Technically, when I was learning the electric piano in middle school, you were probably in elementary school. I don't know. Whatever you do in elementary school.
Oh, right. I remember what our last time was from last time.
Well, no, there was a different ship that went after them with a different captain. I guess that they sent the Gundams on that one.
We're going to be investigating scrap ruins. It's going to be good.
By the way, we didn't bring up the concept board because I literally just added 2 guys to it. That was it. Wasn't worth looking at.
It's all good. We'll have more people soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, she was a real bitch last time. All I said was his coordinator. I know we all fucking hate coordinators, and I threw a fit when I thought it was on a zaft ship when I first got here, but now I just suddenly don't understand.
It's okay, they're completely innocent. They've never heard of racism before.
No, her. They all understand. She is being weird. Well, I mean, if no one's chasing you right now, what the hell is going on?
A lot of stuff.
Why do they have cones in space? That's what's throwing me off.
They're space cones, man. You don't know about the space cones?
Yeah, they tell you to slow down. What was his name?
I went so fast I missed
Yeah,
it.
so I'm saying, I think it was Zola or Dola or something like that. Zola. It's Zola then. It's his last
the
name.
The whole show feels like it goes at like 1.5x speed, you know what I mean?
It was the text. The text like appeared and vanished in an instant. But it's not even Zola, it's Zula. It's Atherin's dad. Yeah, I guess the problem is if they made them once, they could make them again. Is this you owe me a favor now, Atherin?
Oh, it's gotta be. That's why I brought him along.
Gotta hate those moderates.
Imagine people not wanting more war. Can't have that.
So he switched sides.
自分たちナチュラルが操縦してもあれほどの性能を発揮するモビルスーツを開発した。そういうことだぞ。わかるな、アスラン。はい。我々ももっと本気になら
Does it sound weird? But I think the one thing you shouldn't do in animation quality like this,
What's that?
is to start zooming in on somebody.
Oh, one character death incoming.
There's still a little water in there that was entirely backwash.
何どうしたのだって水の使用制限だって昨日シャワー浴びられなかったんだもん
I thought I literally thought she was just having a fit because they made her apologize or something.
Right, I was thinking that too. Like, what drama are we going for?
パーツ洗浄機もあまり使えないから参っちゃうよ手間ばっかりかかってフレイキラえこの間はごめんなさい私考えなしにあんなこと言っちゃってあんなことアルテミスでキラがコーディネーターだっていいよ別にそんなこと
It's not like I went to bed last night crying about it.
本当のことだしね
You only exposed my secret to everyone. It's okay.
People only literally pointed guns at me.
本当これからどうするんだろう艦長さんたち
There's a water shortage, and all we have left to eat is dry peanut butter.
Everyone's dead. That.
Also, debris belt. I think that's worthy of note.
They're heading right for it. Oh, we got Kessler syndrome.
I had to take the headset off a little bit to hear it. The soundtrack does not seem like the right sound for what they're talking about.
Gentle piano? Yeah, it might.
It's
Feels
like
a little off.
It's like wistfully remembering stuff as we talk about this high danger scenario that we're entering into. Okay, that's pretty
Nice
cool,
that
though.
there's the time to put a whole mountain on their space station.
Well, it's literally all angled up, so I mean, it's pretty cool. I don't understand how you're supplying gravity now, but... Hey, it's her! From the halfway point of the show.
Always in the background, never in the story.
ラクス城は今回の追悼慰霊団の代表も務めるそうじゃないか。素晴らしいことだな。はい。
Hope my best friend doesn't steal her by the end of the show.
君らの結びつき。次の世代にはまたとない光になるだろう。期待しているよ。
ありがとうございます。
その時代を今我々は守らねばならん。
Oh, sorry. Future generation. Yeah, the next generation. I'm like, wait, I'm the generation. What are you talking about?
The one after that, we mean. You're the past now. At least Ather has something he's very visibly fighting for, aside from just worrying about Kira all the time now.
私たちは今デブリベルトに向かっています。
デブリベルトってちょっと待って
Yeah,
くだ
we're
さい。
gonna scoop up shit from all the dead people stuff.
Yeah, a little tomb robbing, never hurt anybody.
宇宙空間を漂う様々なものが集まっています。そこには無論戦闘で破壊された戦艦などもあるわけで。
まさかそっから補給しようって
仕方ないだろ。そうでもしなきゃこっちが持たないんだから。
あなたたちにはその際、ポットでの船外活動を手伝ってもらいたいの。
You get to do the theft.
だが他に方法はないのだ。
I have to feel like maybe it's a dangerous place, right? Any high velocity things flying around, you just be ricocheting around out
た
there.
だほんの少し今私たちに必要なものを分けてもらおうというだけ。生きるために。
Also, I guess I imagine if it's a space graveyard, there's probably some jurisdiction to not be robbing the graves of the dead.
At some point, they gotta figure out how to clean it all up, which is the
Can't
problem
wait for
with
the
Esther's
Atherin
system.
blows
You
bubble
can't.
scene.
ご理解いただけると思いますが
Oh, we're gonna have so many bubbles, man.
決してヘリオポリス自体を攻撃したものではなく、あの崩壊の最大原因はむしろ地球軍にあるものとご報告いたします。
Yeah, literally, they kept shooting at us, missing, and blew themselves up. Really, if you think about it.
条約を無視したのはあちらの方です。
だがアスハ代表は
地球に住む者の言葉など当てになるものか。しかしクルーゼ隊長、その地球軍のモビルスーツ、果たしてそこまでの犠牲を払ってでも手に入れる価値のあったものなのかね。
その驚異的な性能については、実際にその一機に乗り、また取り逃がした
I wonder if he's gonna pull a Char in this respect. They're valuable enough to take. Look at all the times they've kicked my ass, and now they're kicking another guy's ass.
You gotta take us seriously because 2 of us lost.
まずイージスという名称のついたこの機体ですが、
Or as I call it, clogging.
I thought they were literally about to go into entire discussion about every single Gundam
Yeah,
special
a whole
ability.
breakdown.
No, we just skipped the meeting. Okay.
こんなものを作り上げるとはナチュラルどもめ。
でもまだ試作機段階でしょ。たった5機のモビル
But
ス
I
ー
mean,
ツ
it
など
makes sense as a
脅威に
strategy,
だが
right?
ここまで
I lost.
うん
Now let me make somebody else who's beyond reproach lose as well.
これははっきりとしたナチュラルどもの意志の表れですよ。奴らはまだ戦火を拡大させるつもりなんです。静粛に。
Immediate arguments. And he's so happy with the 2.
戦いたがる者などおらん。我らの誰が好んで戦場へ出たがる。
The opposite argument of that politician from Legendary Heroes.
Oh, right.
I'm gonna send all of you out to fight. Look, none of us here wants to go out there.
Our only wish is to be left alone. So far seems pretty reasonable.
That was a tractor.
Oh, hey, there's the Tesla they sent up to space.
So it's a reverse Xeon, huh?
Yeah, like, this is pretty reasonable and rational, right?
The Earth people did a reverse Xeon. They did a reverse Island Ifish. That kind of makes the Earth guys the bad guys.
Oh, this is some good devastation. Your whole space station is split apart. Enjoy. BBC, that's what the quality of that makes me think of. Dragon Ball Z destruction.
So it literally is a graveyard. Considering how large the debris belt had to have been, it's amazing that they just wandered into it. Also, conceivably, it's a continent. You should have been able to see it on approach.
最低限の要求で戦争を早期に終結すべく心を砕いてきました。だがナチュラルはその努力をことごとく無にしてきたのです。
Oh, hey, that's the same 2 people we saw from the flashback.
It can't be. Those people were outside.
我々は我々を守るために戦う。戦わね
Oh,
ば
I just heard a wadi wadi wa.
戦うしかないのです。
They've definitely built up the drama of this as highly as possible.
Look, all I'm saying now, Griff, is fuck Earth.
But the way Zaft puts it, Zaft is totally in the right. I have no reason to not believe their propaganda, right?
It's not propaganda, because they're talking to themselves. Literally, these are the people who would know what the lie is and what... Literally, you're talking about like a Futurama. Do we make up the fact that humans can breathe fire? Or can they do that?
I don't know, I think they actually can.
These are the people that would know. It can't be propaganda when you're literally... You know, like Stalin's...
half the story, obviously.
Like when Stalin's inner circle talks to one another. They all know what's going on.
I do like the clock. It just goes, it's like, we're alive, they're dead, we're the ones who need this stuff.
そう他人行儀な礼をしてくれるな。
いえ、これは
ようやく君が戻ったと思えば、今度はラクスが仕事でおらん。まったく君らはいつ会う時間が取れるのかな。
あ、申し訳ありません。
私に謝られてもな。しかし
Space whale.
大変なことになりそうだ。
It's not a whale.
君の父上の言うこともわかるのだがな。アスランザラ。
So I guess Zaft loses the war, huh? Look, the opening, that thing is literally floating out in open space amongst debris. So, if this is their headquarters, I'm guessing Zaft loses the war, huh?
We got 100 episodes to get there.
Well, I would assume it would actually happen before this season is over. Because you wouldn't put it in the section where your opening is. Where it didn't happen.
だからこそ許せんのです。我々の邪魔をする者は。
Oh, by the way, she's also a pop idol.
So it's like Macross then.
Just a little bit.
Or as I understand what Macross is about.
So did you think you were getting a music video today?
I can't wait for Gundam seed. Do you remember love? It's the name of the Macross movie, by the way.
Next, we get our Sympho Gear crossover.
I mean, of course they have to have her sing. Haman sings, right?
Now, this song is 90s for me. Like, this is like slow, depressed 90s for me. How would you put it?
I don't know. Final Fantasy VIII, maybe?
Yeah,
Final Fantasy
yeah, like
9?
same era, same mood.
I'm trying to remember which one.
That is the
one
one
the Gunblade comes from.
9. That's the one with Squall and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute. I like that.
Wait, maybe that is 8 then.
That's a nice move. Although technically they shouldn't start moving sideways because there's no, you know, they should just
Well, they
have
gotta make it
straight.
visually interesting.
They should just have straight forwards and that's it. Also, that explains that the explosion that we see at the very beginning of the opening. Because that's Janus 7. By the way, I'm now having to remember nonsense. Island Ifish, Janus 7. Words that I have no concept of meaning beyond this.
It's okay, they're all plants.
Junko 328542. That's where you get her pop Junko figure from. But you know, I mean, I'm all on Zap's side on this.
I know, and like this whole episode is like built up like a great number of reasons to like really care about Catherine and everything he's going through. He's got so many reasons to be on board with the Zap stuff.
Kind of weird that we use the word sunk in space.
And they're all comparing it to naval stuff, obviously, which, you know.
I mean, I don't know what a Zur is. Oh. I would say, like, it's been made derelict. You know, something.
Why is it out here?
I don't know. TIE fighters like that aren't designed for deep space reconnaissance. It must be based somewhere nearby.
Oh, there could be a base out here. What about that moon, though?
No, that's just the moon.
I love it. Flies directly in front of the scope.
Up to very at a distance, so.
There we go. We had to wait for them to shoot first so that they're the aggressors.
I mean, thank God his shots were completely ineffective.
Yeah.
Couldn't, like,
Killed
shoot
someone else literally trying to protect the graves of everyone who's died. How
It
dare
clearly,
you?
yeah, completely could not destroy an unarmored, you know, little
It was
pod
just the
thing.
Night Watchman, man.
Yeah, I was out here, crying over the grave of my loved ones. Thanks. Who's it gonna be?
開けますぜ。
Is he gonna be the girl? Is the girl out here for some weird ass reason?
It's a girl out here for some weird ass reason.
Who would have guessed, Griff? Who would have guessed that anime tropes would be so easy to read?
How'd she get a whole Gundam, though? Or mobile suit?
Well, I mean, her dad, right? She's got authority, nepotism.
Dad, I want to
based
take
authority.
a tank out to go visit the graves.
Yeah, maybe she was like, you know, doing a photo shoot.
I wanted to be fully armed, and I want to fire at the first person I see, too.
Could be unrelated. Maybe
Yeah,
she was on the ship, and the ship actually just recently got attacked.
Right,
And
I think
this
more
thing was out
logically.
there trying to find her, and he
Yeah.
actually shot down a rescue operation in progress. Either
Yeah,
that,
yeah, no, exactly.
either that, or he shot down a assassination in progress. So this is either a really good thing or a really bad thing.
That would be even funnier. I obviously don't know here, but it is funnier if it's like, oh no, I ruined the rescue.
Like I said, either something bad happened to her out here, like that ship
Mhm.
got attacked by something, and that was a zaft suit trying to find her, or a zaft ship attacked that ship, and it was trying to finish the job.
Yeah.
ナチュラルであることそしてコーディネーターであることそれは自ら選んだわけではない運命それぞれの進む道は次々と枝を広げ揺れる運命を選び取り歩む者たちの上に響くのは癒しの歌か次回機動戦士ガンダムシード敵軍の歌姫流れる歌の向こうに何を見るのかガンダム
So two things.
Yeah.
In that shot, it looked like she shit out the Haru. When she was sitting down and the Haru just rolls out from under, beside her dress, where clearly the Haru's coming from behind and to the side. It's just like she sit down and... But, number two, are they indicating that she's a natural?
No, I think they're just going to indicate that that's the talk they're going to be having next time about coordinators and natural, with her as like the one like talking the most about it or like trying to understand it.
My read...
I think that's my interpretation.
My read on it is that he is a coordinator surrounded by naturals, and she's a natural surrounded by coordinators.
They're gonna say next time. I'm pretty sure she's supposed to be a coordinator, right?
Based on what information, Griff? What information
She's
have you
hanging out
gotten
with the space
before
people.
now? From our first watching of the show, Griff, would you say that she's a coordinator?
She hangs out with the space people.
Yeah, so does Kira.
Yeah, and he's a coordinator.
Right. But his friends aren't. They hang around with space people.
He was hanging out with the Earth space people, obviously.
Oh.
But no, next time is going to be our discussion, and of course we're going to figure out what's up with her and how she figures into this whole story. Now that we've already gone ahead and made ourselves care about Afrin at least a little bit and all of his motivations, and we know he's trying to go ahead and meet up with his fiance here. And now his fiance is on an enemy ship hosted by his friend who's betrayed him. He's gonna lose it.
Well, I think I said this last time, that Atherin's argument for why Kira should join their side is the worst arguments ever made in the history of debate teams. Right? He's never talking about what the point is. He's just like, you're so stupid. You should still join our side. We're the same as you. Like, he doesn't say any points. And this episode is filled with points that Atherin could say stuff about. Like, think about what they...
He's really bad at debate team, honestly. That's it. He's just really bad.
Never says anything about Janus 7 or anything, right? So, to bring up one point, literally other people in the show have to bring up points to teach us about the horrible shit that Atherin could have mentioned at least once. Like, they're indicating that Atherin switched sides because of this thing. And then it's like his whole thing now. And even when the grave scene, it reinforces that's why he did. And then he doesn't bring it up to his best friend.
Again, he can't win debate team. Terrible at it. But yeah, instead of front-loading us with all the information and having us figure it out later, we start with just like, here's the basic premise, and now we're going to slowly filter you the reasons, right?
That's dumb.
It feels backwards, right?
Because what does original Gundam do? That what this is based on. Literally, the opening scene is, here's the war, here's how it started. Let's show you Island Ifish crashing into Sydney, Australia. Operation British. They're Janus 7, basically.
Yeah,
it literally loads you. That's the very first thing you see. First minute and a half of the every episode.
In the intro.
Yeah, of every episode. Well, it's not in the opening, but it is the intro, yeah.
Zeon dropped a colony on us. We're at war. I hope it makes sense.
Yeah, here's the concept of what's happening. And now we are 8 months later. Enjoy. Versus this. How can you join them? We're at war. Don't you know? No.
We clearly don't, because we're the audience. That's the answer.
I've had my
but
head
at least as far
buried
as
in the
they
sand.
handled this, right? I thought they handled this pretty well. They gave us like in a short period as compared to the origin, which gave us an entire episode of the thing crashing. They put it across very well, showed us like, oh, this is the horror of these things. This is how people feel about it. And of course, you see like the zaft hierarchy going, it's like, we literally can't stop. They'll do it again. We gotta finish this.
Well, I think actually Island Ifish was only like 20 minutes of that like hour and 24-minute episode.
Yeah.
Remember, we learned about those two characters that are only there to die, and then we do like the
proportionally the same, but in an absolute sense, we had 20 minutes with that. This episode is 20 minutes, and we got like 2 minutes of it, which it's perfectly fair proportionally.
I don't think so. Because even in Origin, we don't harp on it. Operation British was like literally, and then half the people died. Move on to the next thing.
It's not the focus of everything, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. This episode harps. No, I'm using harp just to mean somebody who keeps going over something. Yeah. This episode harps on it. Like, I include the paper flowers and the funeral and the saluting and everything. That's all part of it. So this episode doesn't just spend a minute where you show what happened. Then the grave site that my mother died, and now we're going to salute all the dead people.
They give us a broader view of the entire thing across the timeline here, basically.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying that they spend a lot more time around it. If you're saying like the 20 minutes, what is 20 minutes to an hour 20? What's the percentage there?
Fifth?
I think they spend more than a fifth of this episode dealing with that.
I like the way that they handled it. Like, the kids were being like, hold up, no, this is a terrible place to be. They go, no, you're alive, get the stuff you need to live, worry about it later. And even after the kids agree, they go, no, let's go ahead, we're gonna go ahead and do our own little service, our own little gesture, and we're gonna like be respectful about it. It's like, okay, no, these are all like good human emotions and ways to react to things. It was interesting to watch, and no one like got into a huge argument about it or anything. Like no one shook someone down and said like, "How dare you do this to the dead?"
That's
you know?
the weirdest thing about this. That nobody did that because this is an over-top dramatic thing. And not one of them went over the top dramatic. Literally the most drama we had this episode. I'm not going to count anything in the zaft side because that wasn't really drama. They like to keep things subdued over there.
Yeah.
Well, unless you're a red shirt pilot. Those guys are drama filled. But, yeah, I guess the most drama we had was literally I haven't taken a shower in a while. I smell, so don't come near me.
Yeah.
Because that was more dramatic than her apology even was.
They are more accepting of their circumstances.
I think it's just a weird thing. Why are you low on water? I understand maybe you have 100 citizens. That's Universal Century. How many people do they actually have on the Archangel?
You know, that's actually a good question.
We got a number in Universal Century. I don't know if we got one here.
Here we just have a guess, right? Like they picked up an escape pod, and there's a bunch of random people, but like it doesn't seem to be more than like the official crew that would like slot into the ship anyway, right?
By the way, in fact, now that we're talking about numbers, I guess if they were trying to match Gundam or mirror Gundam in some aspect, that 30,000 engineers was probably everybody that lived on Side 7.
Sure.
Because they said 24,000. Or did they say 240? Ah, goddamn it, I've already lost it.
Numbers, everybody.
Well, no, they said how many people died in Janus 7.
Oh, right. That one is clearly much bigger than, yeah.
Okay. Well, no, I thought it was smaller, but then that's why I said I couldn't remember all of a sudden. I thought they said 24,000, but now it occurs to me there might have been a 0 between 2 and 4 that I'm just not remembering.
I missed the exact number, I just know it was terrible.
Well, no, it's not really, because, when you get to a number that's so high, it's no longer terrible. It's just inconceivable.
It's even more terrible, actually.
Well, no, it's inconceivable. You can cry.
Incomprehensible is different from being bad.
Yeah, no, that's my point. At a small number, right? You can conceive of, say, a building collapsed, 20 people died, because then it's still the size of a family, right? An extended,
wait, let me finish.
It's an extended family is the size of that. I didn't hear a word you said because I was trying to talk at the same time. That's just going to be a mash in the edit that nobody can understand what the fuck was happening.
It's all good. It's all good.
My point is that, yes, incomprehensible is different from bad. An incomprehensible number does not mean anything. People don't take it in. They know it's bad that people died, but it's not a number you can comprehend, right? It's like saying what the distance is to the end of the solar system. You can say in miles if you want, because people understand miles, but it's still such a large number that you can't put it in your head. It's like,
and that's still basically why we have the entire rest of the episode, really. That's why we had, like, the mother and their kid, the teddy bear, the grave site, the entire flower arrangement happening. That's why we had all of those things, to break it back down to scale, right?
No, you can't break it down to scale. That's right. That's what I'm saying. You empathize because you saw, that's a child and a daughter. I understand that relationship. You can't understand that relationship 1,000 more times. Not all at once. There's no way you can possibly bring that in. It's an incomprehensible number. You only understand that it's bad because it's bad, not because you feel it. That's what incomprehensible is, a different type of horror than just horror.
Well, before we litigate, 1 million is a statistic again. I think that's probably where we're going to go ahead and end it.
Well, I would have only done it once, but you tried to. Again, I didn't even hear what your joke was.
It's okay. So that's how we're going to go ahead and end it for today. This has been Stoneface Reactions, everybody. I'm Griffin. That's Theta. We'll catch you next time. See you around.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. this too goofy?